Hey guys, it's Sudsy Sam again, and I wanted to share with you guys my 3 favorite styles of beer for winter. Each one of these styles is going to have a unique flavor component that's going to help keep you warm during these cold times. I brought out 2 different types of beer for each style so that we can sit here and break down the flavor components together. So let's dive into it. So the first style of these winter beers is a coffee beer. I chose a coffee stout and a coffee porter, which stouts and porters are honestly identical at this point. But I chose them because they go best with coffee. And I think that coffee is a very important flavor for the wintertime. Getting that roastiness, that really good, rich, malty character of stouts and porters along with the coffee, that roasty components that just combine together to create a very full-bodied beer, that's exactly what you need for wintertime. So let's dive into it. We'll be starting off with Modern Times Black House Coffee Roasty Stout. Ooh, that is over the top roasty. This is legit black coffee. I can understand why it says Black House. It is so dark, so roasted, so just like, it's honestly a little bit tannic. Like, it is real roasty. It sits like on the palate as if you just took a very hard concentrate of cold brew and just chugged it. It's real powerful. Next, we've got Smog City Coffee Porter, another dark beer. Oh, and this one has a lot more coffee in the nose. This one was like real dark bitter. This one actually smells like you got a fresh cup of joe. And it tastes like it too. Oh, this one's way better than the other one. Oh my goodness. This one is like nice coffee notes, maybe a little creamy to kind of help balance it out. It doesn't actually have any lactose in it. No, but it's got notes of chocolate. It's kind of got that milk chocolate taste to it. It's definitely more of a balanced coffee beer than anything else. But the roastiness is already warming me up. If you can't tell, I'm kind of sweating. I think these coffee beers are really going to help keep you warm and keep you energized during the cold weather. The full-bodiedness of these beers is going to keep you satisfied with this kind of rich and hearty taste. So that's it for stouts and porters with coffee, and let's move on to the next one. If you're like me and once wintertime rolls around and the weather gets a little bit colder, you start to think of all these really spiced up cocktails, drinks, cider. You got your pumpkin spice lattes, you got your mulled cider. I really like those kinds of flavors, but you can also find them in beer. So for this next style, I chose a Belgian Quad and Tripel. The only real difference between them is alcohol percent, but they're gonna be on the higher end. So this Tripel is 9.5%, and this Quad comes out at 10.2%. These Belgian beers are going to give you a very phenolic character from the yeast and the fermentation that's going to give you a bit of that spiciness, a little bit of that clove, maybe a tiny bit of banana, some of that sweetness, kind of really estery, which comes off as like apple sometimes, in a very low amount in a good way. But that's why I chose these, because it really gives you that kind of spiciness that's going to keep you warm and really make you think of wintertime. So let's dive in. Well, first we're going to try Golden Monkey by Victory. It is a Belgian style triple ale with added spice. So it's even got more spice on top of those fermentation characteristics. Very nice and golden. Yeah, right off the bat, you get a little bit of that clove, a lot of that fermentation, Belgian-ish yeast kind of phenolic-ness. Ooh, wow, yeah, that is spicy. It's got a good amount of sweetness to it too. The esters aren't as pronounced as I thought they would be. Definitely a little more subtle, but the spices come through for sure. So it is a very spicy beer, but not on the hot side on the clove and a little bit of nutmeg too. I don't know if they don't really talk about what they added in here, but I could see a little bit of nutmeg in here. Absolutely makes me think of holiday drinks. A little bit of pumpkin spice latte, kind of with that sweetness. It's got a touch of a squash character to it. That might be a bit of an off flavor, but it kind of supports the beer. So next we're gonna try a quadruple ale from Boulevard Brewing Co. So this one is the 10%er and it's a bit darker. So I'm gonna assume a little bit more of a caramel character to it. Not as much of a spice character as this one. Now maybe that was the added spices from this one before, and because it doesn't have this, it's gonna be a little more on the caramel side. Yeah, oh my goodness, God, it's got a kick of alcohol. It's a little fusely, honestly to a fault. But it's got a nice warming character to it. It's got a touch of that phenolic characteristics, and because of that alcohol, it's really starting to kind of heat my body up and make me think of these like caramely, really sweet drinks that you tend to get. So it actually does kind of remind me a little of mulled cider. It is a lot hotter. While this one is definitely more spicy, this one's got a bit of that alcohol burn to it, and it's a lot more fruity with a touch of caramel. And that's mostly just from the malt. So yes, that's why I chose a Belgian Tripel and a Belgian Quad, because they're gonna give you a lot of those spicy characteristics that's gonna remind you of these holiday drinks that you're gonna be drinking for probably the next couple months. So let's get on to the final set. So the last style I wanted to share with you guys is a strong ale. Now, strong ale is kind of an all-encompassing term as a beer style. It can mean anything from like 7% up to like 15. I specifically am recommending a barrel-aged strong ale. Nothing is gonna warm you up more than alcohol. And these beers come in at a whopping 13.5% and 13.5%. Both these beers are for Bottle Logic. They are barrel-aged strong ales. And these things will have a kick of booze. So let's try them out. First, we'll be trying Staff of Asir, a strong ale aged in bourbon barrels. We're finished with macadamia nuts, cacao butter, and lactose sugar. So it's gonna have a bit of sweetness to it, bit of a, well, bigger body with that lactose and the nuts as well. So it'll give us kind of that like a bit of a spicy character too. So let's see. Yeah, so first right off the bat, like you just get that bourbon character. It is just a whiff of alcohol right in your face. And honestly, that keeps me warm during the winter all the time. If you're ever just thinking about, God, what do I want right now? A lot of times it's like a cocktail, and this is a good alternative. So, ooh. Oh my goodness, yeah, that is sweet. And then it just burns all the way down, man. It definitely has a very nice oaky character to it. The strong ales are gonna have a lot of like caramel sweetness, and on top of that, the sweetness with the lactose and the butter is gonna bring that up to the next level. Now, that does balance out really well with the oak character and the alcohol, the whiskey that it was aged in, because it kind of gives you the sweetness and this alcohol burn that blends together well to balance each other out. So you're not really getting too much of one or the other. It's really good. I'm already feeling warmer just drinking it. So let's go on to the next one. And I saved this one for last because it is a coffee coconut strong ale. Now, I said before, I really like coffee beers, and I feel like this plus the alcohol of a strong ale and the caramel sweetness is just gonna be perfect. So coffee coconut strong ale, it's called Stronger Than Fiction, it's from Bottle Logic, comes out at 13.5%. It's just coffee and coconut. It's gonna have a really nice body from the coconut, followed probably by a good amount of bitterness from the coffee, and then we'll get some oakiness and some booze. So let's dive into it. This one's actually darker than the other one. Probably aged a little longer, or maybe that just might be color from the coffee. Yeah, coffee right up on the nose. I'm getting a lot of that roasted character. Now it's a little more subtle than the stout and the porter from before, probably because those also had roasted barley in them, and this one is just gonna have coffee. Let's see how it tastes. That is delicious. Oh my goodness. You just get this really, really nice note of coconut sweetness that just kind of like sits on the palate, it coats your mouth, and then you get this really nice finish of bitterness from the coffee that follows up with this oak, and then the booze just warms up your mouth. It's such a nice mouthfeel. It's got this great, just warming sensation that slithers down your throat while leaving all these pleasant little bits of flavors along the way. This is probably gonna be my favorite beer for the winter time. You've got coffee, you've got booze, the coconut sweetness and the malty characteristics with the caramel malts are just gonna make it that much better. I recommend this beer to anybody that can get their hands on it. It is delicious, and it's gonna be the perfect winter beer. So that's why I recommended these strong ales. This booze character is gonna keep you nice and warm through the winter. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have any recommendations for winter drinks or winter beers, please let me know and comment below, because I would love to try them. I absolutely love trying new things, and I have plenty of time for the rest of the winter season to give them a chance. So thanks again. I'm Sudsy Sam. Don't forget to keep it frothy, and I'll see you next time.